I am neurodivergent. My different brain ended me up incarcerated because I tried to self-medicate with Schedule 1 drugs. I also had a bad acid trip, which unlocked a mathematical genius. Over the 25 years that I've been an adult, I have amassed a small fortune. Not money, wisdom. And hopefully, all of my pain will serve some kind of good purpose. My brain has always kind of had a mind of its own and played with words and puns and clever words combinations and things, and I've always been fascinated by philosophy, investigate, ponder, wonder on all the big questions of our time, and so my brain kind of came up with Why Are We Here? By the way, little bullet point script, so I am looking at it, but it won't be much. And I'll explain, but I'm probably going to cut this out anyway. Purpose of this channel is to help me help somebody. You, hopefully. First, about me, it's hard for me to say good things about myself. I'm not exactly sure why. It's a complex I've had for a long time. I'm a 90s kid. I am a family man. I have an amazing 12-year-old son. I've been married for 12 years. I am in love with music and have always been a baseball guy. Those are two of my most identifying passions. When I was 12, my sister, who was 19, had a catastrophic accident that changed her life and all of our lives in my family permanently. She became quadriplegic at that point, lost the use of all of her limbs, and it was a big, huge, terrible thing, obviously for her and for everybody in my family. Things were different after that. To add insult to injury, we had our house burned down when I was 15, several years later. I lost my mom, and because I couldn't deal, because we were so close, and also because of an unlikely introduction to heroin, I developed a heroin problem. Today, I'm a grateful, recovering drug addict, and I have been in and out of recovery for 25 years. I owe my sobriety, recovery, and cleanness to God and the kindness of other addicts freely giving to me what was freely given to them, helping me get clean and stay clean. And in my case, also medication-assisted treatment was a miracle. 2017, I started and finished a short prison sentence from a plea from a bunch of stuff that happened with the Schedule 1 drug stuff. The plea included 30 months of probation when I got out. That's why it was so short. And 6 of those months were ankle monitor, curfew, checked up on like all the time. It part of what kept me clean for a while. While I was in prison, I intentionally imprinted by meditating and sitting and almost sulking to soak up the pain of what I had done. My decisions had put me where I was, that my family, I had to leave them, that they were out there by themselves. It was torture. As anybody who's been locked up with a family especially will tell you, it's torture not knowing what is going on with your people outside. And I vowed, I decided that I wasn't going to forget this time how bad it got, and I wasn't going to ever let that happen again, that I could lose my freedom. Because of that legal situation, my wife and I had to sign over custody of our son to one of his grandparents. It was an extremely difficult decision. Really, my wife had to deal with it because I was actually in jail. We, since then, have a lot of hard work, legal stuff, time, etc. We have reunited and regained legal sole permanent custody of our son again, as if we never lost it, as far as the courts and everything are concerned. I am neurodivergent, and in some ways some of them are superpowers, but in a lot of ways they are limiting. I was diagnosed with Asperger's when I was 20, 21. Also diagnosed with ADD with anxiety. That's what they used to call one of the 9 forms of ADD. Now it's just ADHD. Depression, PTSD, and Asperger's today is called on the spectrum autism. But I don't think it really changes a lot. They're just labels so that we can learn and help people, etc. I had 2 rounds of college, one after high school that was at NC State. The changing of my major to a triple major in math, physics, and economics happened after a bad trip, which I will explain in just a second. I did 196 credit hours at NC State, accidentally got a chemistry minor, made Dean's List like 6 semesters in a row, was going to graduate with a 3.6 something GPA, but had to drop out for health stuff and family stuff. Could probably finish that degree pretty easily and still plan to. Then I went back to UNCG in 2011 and transferred the only degree that I was able to transfer enough credits to finish there, which was my economics degree. So I did get my economics degree from a school with a pretty good business school. So, it's something. I had a bad acid trip on New Year's Eve of 1999. As the new millennium literally turned over, my brain was being broken down and remade. It was life-altering. It was not fun. It gave me permanent green aura of a circle in my vision, eyes open or closed, for a decade. It was really bad for the first several years. It started to be something I could ignore after that, but it didn't go away, and I can still see it if I look for it. I had closed eye visuals for years. The experience itself was horrific. My best friend brought me a full bottle of Jack Daniels, full bottle of NyQuil, chugged them both, and was still just freaking out. Several hours later, finally passed out, and then couldn't speak for about 3 weeks. Had to be taken care of. It messed up my social ability to talk to people. It was pretty crazy. I am an empath, a polymath, a autodidact, and the one that I don't really like talking about much is genius. Tested, gifted all my life, but took a couple of IQ tests at behest of other people in my 20s, and the numbers were so high that I don't tell people what they were. And there's several reasons for that. Some, I don't want the expectations that comes along with people thinking you're ridiculously smart, because people expect you to know lots of stuff and remember everything and never be wrong about stuff, and that's just pressure. But the more important reason is that I have a lot of experience with people that I was close to thinking that I thought they were stupid because the way that I explain things, sometimes I guess, people think I'm talking down to them. I've never understood it because I don't look down at anyone. If anything, I look up and wish that, that my brain wasn't constantly doing so much stuff. I don't know if it's because of the acid stuff or the neurodivergent stuff or what, but my brain constantly does things, lots of things. My son will try to startle me sometimes, and my brain somehow will go back half a second from when he does it to know it's going to happen. It's really hard to describe. When anything happens, there's a situation, my brain will see all of the angles and all of the different ways to see it, and I can choose to, look at any of them. It does all this with very little energy, or at least intent from me. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say weird, but it's definitely hard to explain. I've gotten used to it, I guess. But that's one of the main complexes I've always had, is my brain being good, but also being, difficult. And I've been able to predict a lot of things, predict trends, forecast things. A lot of stuff that I think is going to happen ends up happening, and I don't really know exactly how my brain does it. When I played baseball, my brain would black out whenever I would, be involved in a play, like when I was hitting, or when I would get the ball hit to me, or not pitching, which was always weird, but it would black out for just a split second. And maybe that's common. I haven't found many people that know what that's like. Because of all these things, my style here is going to be very raw and not unedited, but low edited. In a perfect world, it would be unedited, but I can't not make, mistakes and like ramble on about something for 10 minutes and then realize that it shouldn't be in there or whatever. So the production quality and value is probably not going to be as high, but I can guarantee authenticity. And about the things that I speak with expertise, I can guarantee experience and, real wisdom. I have a lot of that, I've found out pretty recently, from all the failing and the pain and mostly the failing. The focus of this channel will likely be on neurodivergent things, either the diagnoses or recovery, or dealing with family members with diagnoses, or parenting with having a diagnosis, or possibly with a child with a diagnosis. I will definitely branch out, and have already. There will be videos of music type things. There will be comedy, funny type things, I hope. When I kind of just start ripping, I usually am relatively funny. So I don't know how much of that to expect. This channel for me is very therapeutic. In recovery, I have come up with it's like a 4-step thing. It's gratitude, acceptance, faith, help others. And obviously that's derived from the 12 steps and spiritual program of action and ego deflation and all that stuff. But I've simplified it to use it on, when you get frustrated about something, when something really bad happens, when you just have a bad mood, for kind of anything. And the help others part of that is what I am doing with these videos. So when I have a difficult situation or an emotional situation, very frequently I will try to get myself out of it by thinking of a way to help somebody else in a video somehow. If it's, trying to come up with a topic around that, usually that's what it is. Usually it's something that I think that somebody else probably also dealt with. So I should either, in some way use that fact to hopefully help somebody else. So that's like the 12th step of all of the 12-step programs, is to help others. And that's really where the magic in that program is. It's with helping others, because anything you do for yourself is very, very different than when you do something for somebody else. And a lot of people know this. Addicts are the only ones who were so selfish we had to have terrible, terrible stuff happen in order to realize that we needed to change, and then found helping others in a program like this. And I was a generous and, thoughtful person even when I was in active addiction. But, on a level of, there was still a level of selfishness that caused all of those terrible things to happen. I've been clean for quite a while. Quite a few times, in and out of recovery for so long. And sometimes I forget just how much I have, my life has started to become structured around recovery type principles. If each video gets 1 like and 1 person watches it to the end, that to me is success. I've had a bunch of videos get like 6 views, you know, not many. A couple recently both got around 500, and a couple likes, not many, but several people watched the whole thing and several people liked it. And to me, that was a gigantic success. I got a comment recently that was perfectly timed, extremely thoughtful, and it really confirmed my desire to do exactly what I am talking about doing right now. And this is an intro video, so you'll be seeing this either because you're on the channel page or because you're already a subscriber. So I want to thank anyone who has already supported by watching or anything else. It means the world. It's the only reason I do it, and in the future it'll be the only reason that I'll be able to do it. So officially, thank you. I was checking my mic to make sure I hadn't muted it. It's got this real easy, I usually say I'm going to drop it there kind of as a way to put a period. So I'm going to drop it there, and thank you again for watching. And we will keep looking for why we're here together. Until next time, this side or the other. Well, that was a lot better than the first 2 times. I cannot believe I just did that. Alright, well, trial run. So be it. Thanks for watching. Holy shit. A family guy. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, the first 2, no good. Okay, Mike just went limp.